Viome.com. Viome, your health evolution starts now.
With its new look and taste, Dasani is always crisp, clean, and refreshing. So, when thirst calls, answer with the new refreshed taste of Dasani water, now without salt. Learn more at Dasani.com.
We believe everyone deserves access to fresh food. That's why the Kroger Company created the Zero Hunger, Zero Waste program to share fresh food with the people in our communities. Our program and foundations have donated 3 billion meals since 2017. That's nearly 10 meals for every person in the U.S. Together, we can do more for our neighbors. Just round up your purchase at checkout. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
From the Clements Heating and Air Temp Star Weather Center, here's your forecast.
Cloudy with rain, which will continue into the overnight. The low down to 41. Mostly cloudy and mild Thursday, a high of 53. Rain the first half of your day Friday, a high of 54. That's your latest weather forecast.
This report is sponsored by Miami Valley Gaming.
Celebrate New Year's Eve at Miami Valley Gaming. It's the best party in town, and it's all free.
Must be 21. Ohio Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-589-9966, or visit org.ohio.gov. Ready to take a break? Visit timeoutohio.com.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com.
From the ESPN 1530 studio. Powered by Madewell Restoration. Greater Cincinnati's roofing and exterior restoration experts. Madewell Restoration.
Hey Alexa, who got cut?
Getting ESPN 1530 from iHeartRadio.
Coming down the stretch of the Best of the Mo Egger Show on ESPN 1530. Thank you so much for listening today. If you have enjoyed Hard Knocks as much as I have, I think you'll enjoy this conversation. This is from back in June with Keith Cosrow. He is with NFL Films. He is the guy in charge of Hard Knocks. And so in June, when we found out that Hard Knocks was going to feature in season all 4 AFC North teams, he joined me to talk about the project on ESPN 1530. You have gotten Bengals, Browns, Steelers, and Ravens fans to agree on something, and that's that this is going to be a lot of fun starting December 3rd.
Well, Mo, as a son of the AFC North, or what was back then the AFC Central, I grew up and a fan of one of these 4 teams that shall remain nameless for the purposes of this call. But anyone who loves and has grown up with this division and any one of these 4 teams knows that it is one of the great divisions, not only in the NFL, but in all of sports. And the opportunity to take an approach to Hard Knocks in season that is different than anything we've ever done, different than anyone's ever done, and attack a whole division and all 4 teams in it. You had to start there. You had to start in the AFC North. You have to start in what really is the cradle of pro football, Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, and Baltimore.
It's a great division. You know, Hard Knocks has been on the air now for over 2 decades, and obviously here in Cincinnati, there are a lot of people who became familiar with it when NFL Films was embedded with the Bengals in 2009 and then again in 2013. Give us an idea of what your access is like in season as opposed to when you're covering a team during training camp or like with the Giants this year during the offseason.
First of all, I'm going to make a quick shameless plug for the Giants show, which premieres on July 2nd. And people, if you're not sure what that is, we have been embedded with the Giants since January, and we're with their GM, Joe Shane, and the entire Giants front office through the whole offseason. And it was the things we captured and the story we're going to tell are unlike anything we've ever seen. And it's really interesting. And for any football nerd, a must watch. But for anyone who's just interested in workplace dynamics and offices and how an organization functions at a high level, that shows it's just really, really cool. As far as in-season versus that and the training camp, the classic version of Hard Knocks, the in-season version, which we've been doing for 3 years and which we did, the precursor to that was 5 years of All or Nothing on Amazon. We try to keep the footprint really small in season. If you remember, if you were around Cincinnati in 09 or 13, the footprint for the training camp shows a little bigger and pretty noticeable. We want to be completely invisible in December when teams are fighting for playoff spots and so much is on the line and careers and livelihoods of every coach and player on the roster really are at stake. And everything for an organization is on the line. So we keep the crew small. We lean heavily on the unmanned robotic cameras and meeting rooms that anyone who's ever watched Hard Knocks is familiar with. We lean heavily on miking up players and coaches in practices and games. And we do everything we can just to capture what they're already doing. And that, to us, is the key. In the summer, in August, you got a little bit more time. It's a little bit of a looser time, certainly for veterans. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in August, their main objective is just to not get injured. They just want to get to September healthy, right?
Yeah.
And in December, it's a very different experience for them. So what we want to make sure first and foremost, and, I'm sure any fan wants to hear this, is we just don't want to disrupt anyone's routine. We don't want to disrupt a team's objectives, which are to win every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, and to win the AFC North, and to get home playoff games, and to get to and win the Super Bowl. We just want to be there to document it. And we've developed so many techniques, innovative techniques over the years at NFL Films. That's the whole history of NFL Films, so that we can stay out of the way and still capture this material, these sights and sounds that our fans crave, and that make these shows so special.
You document training camp, and I think we always talk about it on our show, the Hard Knocks effect. No matter which team you're watching, by the end of camp, you feel like, God, these guys are going to be pretty good. Some of the in-season stuff, you famously had the Rams and had Jeff Fisher telling his staff and his players he had been fired. You did the Arizona Cardinals in season, and toward the end, it felt like Cliff Kingsbury knew he was going to lose his job. What is it like when you're covering a team in season and the season has, for lack of a better term, gone awry?
That is one of the main reasons we've gone this route. We knew after the Kingsbury season, the Cardinals season, where their season went sideways. This was in 2022, and everybody was injured, including Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, who was terrific to our crew and helped us make a great show, lost his job. We just knew that's not something we're really interested in documenting again. Nobody wants to see a death march like that to the end of the season. So we just felt that there's a different model to do an in-season version of Hard Knocks, and that's the division model, where by doing 4 teams at once, it's going to be a lot harder. We got to figure it out, and that'll be a process. But it lessens the burden on each of those clubs. We don't have to shoot quite as much with anyone. If somebody's season does go sideways, we can back off a little bit. We got 3 other teams, at least one of whom is going to win the division, and that's important. We want to show victory, not just somebody's season ending badly, but somebody's going to win the AFC North, the hardest division to win in football.
I mean, what I'm looking forward to, and obviously we hope it's here in Cincinnati, but you're going to be embedded with a team as it's preparing for playoff games, and you're going to be embedded with teams as they get set to play teams that you're also embedded with, and I think that adds an interesting dynamic. I'm curious about this. Hard Knocks, the franchise, has a history with the Bengals, and obviously the Browns have been featured somewhat recently. You go back to the first year, you have the Baltimore Ravens. This will be the first time the Pittsburgh Steelers are involved. Does that add a dynamic? Did you have to compel them to say yes to this? How did that play out?
Well, this change was voted on at the league meetings in March. You know, anything we do with Hard Knocks that's a change, everybody's familiar with the Hard Knocks rules of who's eligible to be on the show, and it's a fun parlor game for fans to play. We wanted to tweak that this year and expand the pool of teams that are eligible for the summer show, and simultaneously to open the door to doing this different approach to the in-season show. We spoke to many of the teams around the NFL and got a lot of feedback. We worked with the league office, the executives in New York, and it was put to a vote, and the owners voted overwhelmingly that this is an approach they could get behind. So all four of the AFC North teams voted in favor of it, and at that point we felt really good that this is probably where we're going to start. I mean, it certainly was going to be our preference. And no, there was no pushback from the Steelers. There were no pushback from the Ravens, the Bengals, or the Browns. I know there were, the commissioner spoke to the owners, and our president, Ross Kittover, speaks frequently with executives from all four of the clubs, as do I with several of them. And we have great relationships, and I think everybody goes into this with eyes open. We don't want to disrupt anybody's season, and we're going to figure out how to work together to tell a great story. How cool is it, though? I mean, tell stories about Bengals and Browns games and Steelers-Ravens games, and every game in this division is a rivalry game.
Yeah.
There are no bad games on the schedule. Week 16 and Week 18, all four teams play each other.
Yeah.
We have the Steelers and Ravens both playing on Christmas Day on Netflix. There's just so many different things we're going to be able to feature and highlight and focus on. It's going to be awesome.
Do you anticipate? I would imagine the idea is for this to be an every year sort of thing. Maybe not with the AFC North, but is the idea here you're going to do this with a particular division every single year moving forward? You're starting with the best and I think most competitive division, but could we see the AFC West next year or the NFC East? How's that going to work?
Yeah, that's definitely the idea. I mean, we got to see how it works. This is the year to find out. If everything we think is going to goes the way we think it's going to go. If it succeeds, if it proves to be a practical answer, and the feedback from these four teams is, yeah, you know what, that worked. We can handle that. Then it becomes a really equitable and fair, an equitable solution where we can go to all 32 teams and say, you're going to do this once in 8 years, and everybody's going to do it. And so we don't have to talk anymore about we're never doing this or this isn't fair. No, it's fair. Everybody will do it once. And it's a great way for our fans to get to know the players and coaches and what they put into this a little bit more. There's nothing like when you watch Hard Knocks and you gain a new appreciation for how hard a particular player or coach is working, how much they care about the job, how much it means to them, how much support they have from their families. Once you witness that in a show like this, it changes your connection to the team. We saw it last year with the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel and Tua and that team, which had a terrific season where they kind of got banged up at the end. But that was our first taste of Hard Knocks in the playoffs. And I think it meant a lot to Dolphins fans to experience that run in this way. And it's really intense to experience it this way, but I think it's a lot of fun. It deepens the emotional bond you feel with your team and its players. And I think that's a good thing for our game, for our league, for our players and coaches, and for our fans.
Yeah, I mean, to that end, I've always felt like, and the 2009 Bengals had a good year. They won 10 games. It was a year filled with tragedies, with Chris Henry passing and Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, lost his wife. But I've always felt like Bengals fans, to this day, 15 years later, developed a special bond with that team because of the stories that were told during training camp on Hard Knocks. And yeah, Chad Johnson was featured prominently, but also we got to know Tom Nelson, right? This undrafted safety who made the club. And so I'm always somewhat envious of the fan base that gets Hard Knocks, because I feel like, especially if the team ends up being pretty good, boy, you are going to develop an attachment that maybe you don't get anywhere else.
Of course, that Bengals season in 2009 was incredibly special for all of us here. We had rebooted the show a couple of years earlier with the Kansas City season with Herm Edwards, and made it much more cinematic. And that's when the now iconic Hard Knocks theme was first brought into the show. People don't realize that Hard Knocks theme wasn't there with the Ravens show. Yeah. We didn't introduce it until 2007 when our composer David Robideau wrote it. So that 2009 season was the first time it won the Emmy for Best Series. The Chad part of it was incredible. The Reggie Kelly story, everything you mentioned. It was such a special show, and we know the connection it made. And we just saw the same thing recently with the Detroit season. I just heard yesterday that still 2 years later, the number one selling jersey for the Lions was an undrafted linebacker featured in a Lions show 2 years ago. And you think about how that Dan Campbell Lions team was just starting to turn the corner when Hard Knocks aired. And I think it really helped catapult them in their own city. It really helped define their character and build the love affair that they're having with that city. And I think it helped catapult them into the national consciousness. When Hard Knocks works and it's clicking on all cylinders and the team is into it, and the coach is on board, it can be a really great experience for everybody involved. And I think that's happened on a number of occasions. And hopefully it happens this year with the entire AFC North, because, again, it's just a different side of the game than we've been able to present in any of these shows ever. Is to say, hey, here's the best division, the most competitive division, the toughest division in football. Let's see how they go about it when it matters most.
It is. It's going to be a blast. Premieres December the 3rd. I cannot wait. I have been an NFL films nerd since I got my NFL Crunch Course VHS tape with my subscription to Sports Illustrated when I was 8 years old in 1985, and have been a huge fan ever since. I cannot thank you enough for giving us some time. I hope we can do it as Hard Knocks unfolds later on this winter. Thank you so much, Keith.
Anytime, Mo. Make sure you stop by next time you're around Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
I know that area well, and I may take you up on that. Thank you so much.
All right, pal. See ya.
That's Keith Cosrow, the guy who makes Hard Knocks, which airs again on Tuesday night. We are done. My thanks to Taryn Bland for producing this show. My thanks to you for listening. Hope the rest of your Christmas goes well. We hope to see you tomorrow at Buffalo Wild Wings Harper Station. Have an awesome night. And again, Merry Christmas. This has been the Best of the Mo Egger Show on ESPN 1530 Cincinnati Sports Station.
Time with family, laughs with friends, and cash back? Discover's got you covered on the last one. That's because Discover doubles all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
The holiday season should remind us that faith and family are the most important things in life. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We hope that you succeed in coming together this holiday season with those you love to create wonderful memories. Holidays have this magical power to magnify small things into ever greater memories over time.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Ohio or Kentucky attorneys. 513-823-2020. Office in Florence, Kentucky. 201 East 5th Street, Suite 1310, Cincinnati, Ohio 45202. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only.
Kevin Hart here. Guys, I'm here to tell you to try my tequila, Gran Cormino. My añejo is finished in cognac barrels. So smooth. My Cristalino, a.k.a. the Mino Lino, is crystal clear with sweet berry finish. Gran Cormino is a tequila made with hustle and heart. You get it? $1 from every bottle you buy supports a small business in your community. Now do me a favor and get out there and buy my Gran Cormino tequila. It's 40% alcohol by volume. Jersey City, New Jersey.
The election is finally over, and with a new pro-business administration about to start, at Swish Funding, we're committed now more than ever to help America's small businesses come out of the surviving years and into the thriving years. Whether you need funds for cash flow, expansion, or new equipment, Swish Funding will always have your back, with flexible funding options from $25,000 up to $2 million. At Swish Funding, we know time is money, so we designed our process to be fast, easy, and hassle-free. You could get a decision in just minutes and cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. With financing at rates as low as 8% and flexible payment terms tailored to your business needs. It's no wonder our clients call us the small business owner's friend. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. It's that simple. The time for your growth is right around the corner, and at Swish Funding, we're here to help you succeed. Apply today at swishradio.com. That's SWISH radio.com.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
This is 1530 WCKY, Cincinnati, the 50,000-watt orange and black home of the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's ESPN 1530.
Provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
You found Cincinnati's ESPN 1530.
Experiences make life more meaningful. And with MasterCard's Priceless.com, you can immerse yourself in unforgettable experiences in dining, sports, art, entertainment, and more in over 40 destinations. From a round of golf with a legendary player to a cooking class with a celebrity chef, you can feel your passions and create lasting memories. Explore experiences today at Priceless.com, exclusively for MasterCard cardholders. Terms and conditions apply.
'Tis the season for joy and cheer. And Menards knows that during Christmas, there's nothing better than spending time with family and friends. From all of us here at Menards, thank you for making us a part of your year. Whether you strolled through the enchanted forest, picked up everyday items, or finished your biggest projects, from our family to yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Attention small business owners needing financing. Are you frustrated with a slow process and high interest rate quotes from your bank? Then you need Swish Funding, the small business funding experts, where our simple application process takes just minutes with affordable funding as soon as one business day. At Swish Funding, we focus on your business cash flow, not your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with funding from $10,000 to $2 million. If you've been in business for 1 year or more with a monthly income of at least $25,000, you can get the affordable funding you need with no collateral. Swish Funding is providing funds for expansion, inventory, increased overhead, even slow cash flow to small businesses all over America. Restaurants, plumbing, landscaping, trucking, auto body shops, healthcare providers, and more are getting the funds they need fast. At Swish Funding, applying takes just minutes with funds in your bank account within 24 hours. Go to swishradio.com. That's SWISH radio.com. Swishradio.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
We were rolling down this road in
Anbar Province.
all of a sudden
There's a huge explosion.
we knew right away.
It was an IED.
Then we started taking
Sniper fire and RPGs from the hills.
Today's servicewomen face the same combat dangers as men.
It's pretty amazing.
We made it out alive.
But at home, women veterans face different challenges. DAV understands this and fights to get women veterans the health, disability, and financial benefits they were promised. Visit DAV.org for free help.
My boyfriend drinks too much. I found help and support at Al-Anon family groups. Is someone's drinking troubling you? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
He's got more sports smart in his little finger than you have in your big toe. The Mike Greenberg Show, tomorrow morning at 10 on ESPN 1530.
During warm-ups, the Timberwolves built a big lead, then held off the Mavericks 105-99. Luka Doncic left the game for Dallas with a calf injury. Earlier, the Knicks beat the Spurs 117-114. Coming up, two more games. The Lakers will play at the Warriors, and the nightcap will be the Nuggets at the Suns.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN and the HD studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is Freddie and Harry.
This lady, the main character, she had a cat. And I'm like, if you don't get rid of that meow, you got to put that cat and let that cat be on his merry-go-way.
Cats are all about standing on business for them. Movies, real life, whatever. Cats don't help anybody. Cats help cats, individually and collectively. You should have known better from the cat kingdom. They don't help anybody but fellow felines.
So what you're saying is all about the cat?
It's all about the cat.
You can trust the cat?
No, you can't trust the cat. No.
You can't trust the cat.
You can trust the cat not to help you.
She had a cat.
This is Freddie and Harry.
All right, don't bring the cats around Freddie or Harry, it sounds like. This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Happy holidays. In for the guys, he's Reed Fowler. I'm Jonathan Saslow. You a cat guy, Reed? Very important question.
No, I'm not. Allergic. Are you very allergic.
Oh, okay. Are you a dog guy or are you also allergic to
absolutely.
dogs?
Love dogs here at the Fowler household. But cats.
Well, what's the difference there between allergic to cats and allergic to dogs?
It's probably mental. It's probably one of the mental things where you just say it and then you make it. It's like you manifest it into your life, even though it's something that you shouldn't. But yeah, it's just for whatever reason that the dander itself, maybe the cat, whatever it is, it is no bueno. I wouldn't be able to talk right now.
Are your cats hypoallergenic, Reed?
The cats that I had, no, they weren't. My dog is not as well.
Dog is not as well. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm a dog guy, but I don't mind cats. Like I'd be, if my wife wanted a cat, I'd be okay. Before we got the dogs, I'd have been okay with that. I like dogs a lot more, but my wife hates cats. She thinks they're the devil.
It's true. Freddie and Harry are absolutely correct. Cats are for themselves. The vast majority of the felines are there for themselves. You know what they could do? They could care less about you. Although I will say, I find myself sometimes very late at night when I'm the only one awake in the house, going on the old social media train and being completely addicted to seeing cats get absolutely scared from putting their paws on tinfoil. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Really?
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic.
Oh, I could fall down a rabbit hole watching that.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't know that's a thing.
And then they
videos of cats touching tinfoil.
And they ruin everything because they freak out, and then the vase falls, and then the glassware falls, and it is pure chaos, and I'm here for it.
Cats are stupid. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join our growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. 17 seconds remaining in the first half. Baltimore leads Houston 17-2. The Texans have the ball at their own 15, so they're likely just going to wind up running out the clock here. We're going to go to halftime and get the field ready for Beyonce. Now, over on the NBA side of things, it's halftime in Boston, where the 76ers lead the Celtics 66-58. I don't know if you saw this, Reed. Did you see what happened pregame with Joel Embiid warming up and getting ready for this afternoon's contest?
I mean, if the 76ers needed any more reason to be mad at their team, it's that type of stuff happening during warm-ups.
Okay, so you did see it.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Embiid.
All right, I just saw this for the first time a few minutes ago, all right, during a commercial break. I was not aware of this. I'm locked into the NFL and to the actual games that are going on. So I'm just seeing this video now. And if you guys out there, you didn't see it. Now, Joel Embiid, he's playing basketball today. It's his 9th game of the season. Incredible. The 76ers, this is their 28th. Embiid has decided to play in now 9 of them. Incredible. You got to earn that money, Embiid. Good job. He has 18 points at halftime. But before the game, he's out there warming up, and he takes a three-pointer, long jumper, and he's backpedaling after he lets go of the jumper, and he falls over the rope that is separating the court and anyone who would want to walk onto the court when they're not supposed to. He falls over the rope and trips on the security guard and twists his ankle. And he's lying on the ground there before the game because he's always on the floor. Embiid's always on the floor. And he's holding his ankle. Reed, what is he doing?
I mean, where's your situational awareness, Joel?
Yeah.
I mean, you've literally played a second of the regular season so far. And look, I get it. But come on, this is not your first time in the league. You know where these things stop and end. Right, it's not like this is complete news to you.
He falls over the rope.
I mean, it doesn't remind me, but it's in the same arena as when Bryson DeChambeau, when he was in a live tournament, or I forget if it was live or PGA, but the rope kind of like came down to where it separates the partition, like the fans, the patrons, and him, and it came down and it hit his face, and he got bent out of shape. It's like, you know where the rope is, right? You know where the rope is. Just make sure that, don't trip over it. Because if you do, and it's not like you're 6'2", big tree fall hard, Taz. He is a large man that has been basically built out of glass during the regular season of every season. So in that case, be more aware. But thank God he's playing because he's playing well.
He's so awkward, and he's always falling down. Usually he's falling on purpose. I certainly don't think he fell on purpose here, okay? Because what's the point? You're going to say the security guard fouled you? They're not giving you free throws, Joel. Game starts in an hour from now, all right? But he's always on the ground. And you're right, situational awareness, I think, is the best way to describe it. What are you doing? He's just backpedaling into nothing, and he falls over the rope, which is clearly there for everybody to see. Well, they're leading the Boston Celtics right now at halftime, 66-58. That game is on ABC. We got news earlier today as well. Shams Charania on ESPN.com put out a story how Jimmy Butler, Miami Heat, would prefer, he hasn't demanded, he hasn't asked, but he would prefer to be moved out of Miami before the deadline, presumably somewhere that would give him the extension that he's looking for. Now, with today, the first time ever, Reed, that we got the 5 NBA games, which is a Christmas thing. Like we've had, I don't know if it's always been 5 for this long, but NBA and Christmas has been a thing for about 20 years now, maybe a little bit more than 20 years. That's their holiday, all right? Yeah. But the NFL now is encroaching on it, and they got 2 games on Netflix. They're at halftime right now with the Ravens up 17-2, and earlier today the Chiefs won on Netflix 29-10 over Pittsburgh. No streaming issues. That's fantastic. What has been your setup as far as, because I thought about this going into it. We got the NBA going on. We got the NFL going on. I got to make sure I keep an eye on both. Here in the Zaslow Mansion family room, Reed, we had the NFL on the big TV.
Okay.
And we had the NBA at the time. You had Knicks and Spurs I was keeping an eye on. That was on the small TV.
Okay.
So the NFL, I mean, nothing stops this train. The NFL is still dominating. I would imagine a lot of people had similar setups today, right?
Oh, absolutely. And you're a TV guy, right? So you got them on TVs, not on tablets or phones or...
Right. I don't like doing that, yeah.
Yeah. So you got the full, basically, the man cave, the sports bar setup where you got multiple TVs. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, when you get a chance, because again, I got a young son. He's 2.5 years old, so he's running. He's running around. He's got Christmas gifts, right? So I want to make sure that he's okay. So I'm really switching on my phone, right? On Netflix, and then on YouTube TV, you're switching through all of these things. But the setup is, like you mentioned, you got to watch all the games because they're there, right? We don't usually get this. Usually it's couch, NBA, ESPN, that's it, right? We're set. One TV. Hopefully, if you have 2 TVs and you want to watch something else, like it's, a Christmas movie on mute, whatever it is, or you want to watch the NBA on mute and watch another Christmas movie, that's fine too. But now you can't do that anymore, Zaz. You got to watch all the stuff, and I appreciate that. Give me more. I'm always a proponent of more content in the Fowler household.
It's amazing. We're not that far removed where, you didn't get every game. And now, any game that's going on, granted, sometimes you have to pay for the service. Like, you have to have Netflix to watch these NFL games, although who doesn't have Netflix these days? But every game that's on, NBA, NFL, college football, every game is on. Like, you have access to any game you want to watch. And like you said, you could be running around the Fowler household there. You're switching off on your phone.
There it is.
Not only can you watch every game you want, but you could watch every game you want wherever you are. Oh, look at Beyonce. She's coming out on a white horse. Look at her. She's on a white horse. Cowboy Carter. She's coming out onto the horse past the Cadillacs with the long horns, because they're in Houston. She's got the cowboy hat on. She's coming out on a white horse. Look at this Beyonce, Reed. Look at her. Look at her.
She's fantastic. I mean, genre agnostic for Beyonce, and the only one who can do it. Right? The only one who can do it.
Do you know how to ride a horse, Reed? If I put you on a horse right now, can you manage?
I could manage, but not for very long. Okay.
The horse starts going too fast, you get a little scared,
we're done. Okay. I'll probably do a bail. We're bailing out, right? We're protecting the moneymaker here.
God, wouldn't it be great if we're just watching Beyonce? Now, she just got off the horse. Oh, she looks very elegant. She just got off the horse, and now she's making her way to the field. I could do play-by-play of a concert, right? That's not like holder issues, right?
You like the people who do the sign language, and then you'll just really get into it, Zaz.
Yeah.
You just
I could do play-by-play of a concert.
Now, when we get to the songs, are you able to sing them?
No, I don't. It's not my kind of music. Like I don't know how many. I definitely wouldn't need more than one hand to name the Beyonce songs that I know.
Okay, because I was going to ask, what's your favorite B song? Drunk in Love. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Formation.
not my thing.
Formation. If you're a Beyonce fan, Formation for me was like, the warm-up song. I know everyone's got like Papa Roach back in my day, and you had, Dre and M and all these guys, and if you're Travis Hunter, you only figured out who Lil Wayne was like 3 days ago. Shame on you, Travis Hunter. I love you to death, but shame on you. I had Formation in there, okay? And her Lemonade tracks, whew, my goodness.
Oh, you're like a real Beyonce fan. I'm listening to you.
Well,
here.
I mean, how can you not be? If you grew up when I grew up, Beyonce was everywhere. I mean, Destiny's Child was this. I mean, they were the band back in the day, right? Look, there are a lot of bands out there. Trust me. And you could argue who was the best. But if now we have staying power, like the same way you had Justin Timberlake with NSYNC, right? The solo career. I mean, Beyonce without Destiny's Child, she's still pretty good. She's done pretty good.
Still making it happen.
So Formation, if you need a song to listen to, Zaz, from Beyonce, Formation, in my opinion, one of the best. I know I'm missing a ton, but I love Formation.
I'll tell you, so she just now made her way onto the field, and it looked like she was walking through heaven. You know, the lights very bright and the fog, and it was like she was walking into the gates of heaven, getting onto the field. And they panned to the crowd, so now she's performing. It was right out of the tunnel. They got her stage set up, and they panned to the crowd. Reed, if I could tell you, it doesn't look like a single person got out of their seat to go get a hot dog or go to the bathroom.
No.
Everybody is in their seat watching Beyonce. Now, where's Lamar Jackson? I have not seen him yet. I don't know, but there you go.
Right.
Yeah,
I would argue that if whoever you're a fan of, and remember, Formation was debuted at Super Bowl with, in my opinion, one of the best Super Bowl halftime shows with Bruno Mars. And it was, I can't remember who was that third act with Beyonce. I'll get to it. It'll come to me. But it kind of feels like whichever fan you are of, the NFL or Beyonce, that the NFL could have been sort of the halftime show to the main show, which is Beyonce. You could argue that if you're in a certain camp, especially with the score.
I'm looking out for Lamar Jackson. The Ravens lead the Texans 17-2. You're listening to Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to everybody out there. Now, if you have a different setup, all right, we got halftime in both NBA and NFL games right now. But leading up to today, I'm legit wondering, how do we negotiate the setup here? How do we manage keeping track of all the NBA and all the NFL? So if Freddie and Harry Nation want to hop aboard here, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. We want to hear from you guys. So you can hop aboard here. Let us know what your setup is today with all the NBA and all of the NFL. Reed, did you see this? This past weekend, you had NFL action on Saturday, and you had the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
If I'm assuming you have not seen this yet. If I asked you which you think drew bigger numbers, regular season NFL games on a Saturday or college football playoff games, your guess would have been what?
The reason why, the way you ask it, I know I'm going to be wrong, but I'm just going to say this for the sake of saying this, that you would think it would be playoff college football. You would think.
So the playoff game between SMU and Penn State got 6.4 million viewers. Texans Chiefs, which was on at the same time, 15.5.
I know. It's just a machine. You can't stop it.
My goodness.
They're taking all of our holidays.
How about later on, Clemson, Texas? That drew 8.6 million viewers.
Big game.
All right.
Yep.
You got more people who want to watch them than SMU. All right. So Clemson, Texas, 8.6 million up against Steelers, Ravens, 15.4.
I mean, you want a holiday, any other sport? Too bad. Okay? You can't even get a holiday. NBA, like you mentioned, has had this for 2 decades, right? And it's the second of the core four in terms of sports, in terms of popularity. Mm-hmm. And the NFL, after we see these numbers, obviously, will demolish the ratings, will demolish the numbers, because this is the machine. This is the machine that keeps on going.
Now, it is important to note here, Reed, SMU Penn State, which got crushed head-to-head by Texans and Chiefs. SMU Penn State was on TNT. Okay. That's a cable channel. Texans Chiefs was on NBC. That's an over-the-air network television channel. It's more readily available to everybody, so it's important to point that out. And same thing with Clemson, Texas, which was TNT. Steelers Ravens was on Fox. Same scenario. But when the college football was not going up against the NFL, Indiana Notre Dame drew 13.4 million on its own, and Tennessee Ohio State, which you would figure that would be the biggest one, drew 14.3 million on its own, both of which still less than the NFL while going up against the college football.
And if you're like me, you were watching the PNC Championship as well, trying to harken back to the days where Woods was leading at the turn and had a chance to win at the very end. But here's a question for you, Zaz, is if those games were closer in the college football playoffs, do you think that would have made a difference?
No.
Yeah, same.
No. Like it would have helped in the quarter hour, in the fourth quarter, couple quarter hours at the end of the game. But overall, no. I mean, it's just it's an unstoppable machine, this NFL. Those college football playoff games this past weekend were so much more important than the NFL games that we saw. What was it? It was Steelers. It was the 4 teams that are playing today.
Right.
It was Chiefs, Texans, and Steelers, Ravens. Those are very good games, but still, it's regular season. And here's the thing. Maybe I'm a little bit surprised that it was such a discrepancy with the numbers and how many people watch the NFL over those college games because, I've been doing college football tailgate throughout the year here on ESPN Radio on Saturday mornings. We're at the biggest games, the biggest venues, the best tailgates. And seeing it up close really for the first time in my life, which is kind of a crazy thing to say, Reed, because obviously I've loved sports my entire life. But seeing it up close and seeing how much these people love college football, it's their lives. I mean, like the hardcore college football fan cares so much more about their college football team than the hardcore NFL fan cares about their NFL team. It means so much more, but overall, like all encompassing, clearly here it's showing you like the NFL, it's unstoppable.
And yeah, and there's also a point too where if you look at college football and how it was set up, right, and this is where I thought that an Alabama would be in the mix. Or a Miami potentially would be in the mix because you talk about those fan bases in Alabama more so than Miami, not to discredit Miami at all and what they're able to do in their fans, but Alabama football is, like you mentioned, it's their religion. It's their livelihood.
They care more about that than I care about anything in my life.
Right, exactly. And you see it. And that's why as, casual or indirect fans, we live vicariously through that, right? I know when I was going to college, and same, right? Anybody who goes to any college and has a football team, that everything, and especially towns, the town of Boulder it's fashioned around the university, and the stadium is on campus. So you're talking about every single day you're passing it, every single day you're hearing it. And if you were a Buffalo fan this year, boy, were you in the news more so than not, right? And then with the last 2 years, obviously with Coach Prime. It wasn't that, when I was there, shout out Joe Klatt, but that's what we beat Adrian Peterson's Oklahoma Sooner team, and that was a big one. But this is their lively, like you mentioned, this is what they do. It is their schedules all surround around Saturdays.
Doesn't stop the NFL.
You don't stop it.
Doesn't stop the NFL.
Yep.
Doesn't stop the NFL. Even with the NFL on Netflix here today, and you got the NBA all over on ABC, ESPN. What's your setup today with the NFL versus the NBA here on Christmas Day? We want to hear from you, Freddie and Harry Nation. He's Reed Fowler. I'm Jonathan Zaslow. 888-SAY-ESPN. 888-729-3776. Let's go out to the Bronx. Let's hear from Rashad. Rashad, you're up on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Go ahead, Rashad. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Hey, happy holidays, fellas. Happy holidays. All right, so my setup, automatically, the games that are the most significant gets the big TV. So in this case, it will be the NFL games. You get a big TV, and the NBA games get on my phone.
On your phone?
On my phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you do? Like, are you holding the phone on your chest, or are you holding it up in front of your face? Your arm will get a little bit tired.
Rashad's got an apparatus that he just sits there and it connects to it, and he doesn't have to move.
No, what I do is, so I have the big screen and I have my phone on the table, so I can watch both of them at the same time. Luckily, my Knicks played first, and there was no NFL games interrupted. So because they on the big TV automatically. So other than that, the NFL first, NBA on
now,
the phone.
if it's not your Knicks, does anything ever overtake the NFL on your big TV?
It can't, because there's no games that are significant in the NBA to take over the NFL. The only thing, maybe baseball, because by the time baseball season starts and NFL overlap, baseball season is in the playoffs. It has to be the Yankees playing. If it's not, then they get put on the phone too. I'm sorry. NFL is a big TV.
No, you don't have to apologize. The NFL's the king. Thanks for the call, Rashad. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Rashad's a good baseball fan then if he's putting the Yankees up on the big screen over the NFL at that time.
I mean, yeah, games of consequence, right? That's kind of the differentiating factor is games of consequence. I'd argue, Clemson fans, right, if your team was in those playoff games, you're watching it on the big screen, especially if you have people coming over to the house or you're going to a bar. Obviously, you don't have a choice. But to Rashad's point with the phone, right, that's the thing is like, if you're like my degenerate brother, he's got 5 screens going on. He's got an iPad, he's got his phone, he's got his TV. And now on TVs, on Netflix, you can quad box it. Or on YouTube.
Does he have the volume up on all of them?
Excuse me, on YouTube TV, you can quad box it. So, and the volume's down on all of them, Zaz. There's no volume. You can't, if there's volume, then this guy is really, 3 sheets. But, it's wild. There's so much content. And what's probably like the sort of the latter part of that, which the annoying part is that where are these games all being played, right? There's so much out there, and they're on so many different platforms. Right? With ESPN, we got is perfect because we got NBA. We know NBA is on ESPN. But some of these other ones, you got to go and download this. You got to get this app. You got to have this. Yep. And it's like, where is this big thing being played? I just need to watch it. So it's sort of like you have so many options where it's sometimes overwhelming.
NFL or NBA on Christmas Day? What do you got? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. He's Reed Fowler. I'm Jonathan Saslow. In for Freddie and Harry today on a Christmas afternoon. Coming up next, more from the gridiron as the Chiefs clinch the #1 overall seed today. This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio, home of the World Series.
The Dodgers are World Series champions.
The NBA Finals.
The Celtics, the 2024 NBA champions.
And the College Football National Championship.
Michigan has won the College Football National Championship.
This is ESPN Radio.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
ESPN 1530.
Chris Hodge here, host of the Sports Investors Daily Radio Show, sponsored by TakingVegas.com. Tune in every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. local time for today's top free pick on a recorded line. Call 888-9-WIN-NOW, 888-994-6669.
Men, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you and your partner are experiencing struggles because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. And as a Promenic restorative health practice, we've literally seen countless thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season. A renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to TriStateMen'sHealth.com. That's TriStateMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Mo Egger. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel's got a ton of ways for you to pick up a W. Not only can you bet on who's going to win the game, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points each score, and a ton more. Just go to FanDuel.com/Mo to join today, and this way you'll be all set for the biggest games of the year. That's FanDuel.com/Mo, and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's open enrollment. Are you looking at one of those ACA Obamacare plans?
Stop. Health insurance is complicated. Everyone's situation is different, and there are multiple options to choose from. When planning health insurance for you and your family, you need to consult an expert. John Rollman at Cover Cincy has been helping people get the right coverage at the best rate for years. Cover Cincy's plans are available all year round, and all patient services have a $0 deductible. You choose your doctors and hospitals, and it's 30 to 60% lower than Obamacare. If you pay your own health insurance, you are uninsured, or your employer coverage is too expensive, call John, an expert with over 20 years' experience, at 513-800-2255. That's 513-800-2255. Or go to covercincy.com. That's covercincy.com. A premium, personalized plan, managed and designed by you, not the government.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Most people think child abuse is a bad parent problem.
Actually, the root causes may be different than you think.
Let us explain. Affordable housing for everyone?
That prevents child abuse. And access to health care in every community.
Prevents child abuse too. High quality, affordable child care.
Paid family leave.
School breakfast and lunch programs.
All of this prevents child abuse.
It's all about keeping families out of crisis in the first place.
At least 1 in 7 children in the United States have experienced abuse or neglect in the past year. Prevent Child Abuse America promotes policies, programs, and resources informed by science that help communities, parents, and kids thrive.
Because when we keep families out of crisis,
we prevent child abuse
from ever happening.
Go to preventchildabuse.org to learn more.
That's preventchildabuse.org.
Let's solve child abuse before it ever happens.
Did you know if you're an adult living with asthma or COPD, getting sick with pertussis may result in severe complications? Pertussis, or whooping cough, is a serious respiratory illness. Vaccination is the best way to help protect against pertussis. Speak to your healthcare provider to ensure you are up to date on your Tdap vaccination. Learn more at lung.org.
Dealing with an ankle injury. Sad note from football. Former NFL linebacker Bill Bergey has died at the age of 79. He spent most of his career with the Eagles and was a 5-time Pro Bowler. To the NBA in Game 3 of 5 on this holidays in the third quarter in Boston. The Sixers lead the Celtics 71-68. Philadelphia did lead by double digits at one point in the first half. Earlier, Knicks over the Spurs 117-114. Mavericks lost to the Timberwolves 105-99. And they also lost Luka Doncic. He left the game with a calf injury and did not return.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com.
Now, this is Mariah Carey, right, Reed?
Oh, yeah.
I believe
this
it's
her.
Mariah.
Yeah.
Okay, she performed before the first game on Netflix today. Mariah on fire as the Chiefs beat the Steelers 29-10 earlier today. He's Reed Fowler. I'm Jonathan Zaslow. This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and SiriusXM Channel 80. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. We'll get back to your phone calls. Freddie and Harry Nation, you can hit us up at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. We got the 5 NBA games today on Christmas. We got the 2 Netflix NFL games going on Christmas. Right now, the Ravens lead the Texans 17-2. What's been your setup today? Which have you been paying more attention to? We'll get back to you guys, but let's bring aboard Adam Teicher, ESPN Chiefs NFL Nation reporter. Obviously, he was there today for the Chiefs' 29-10 win at Pittsburgh as they lock up the number 1 seed in the AFC. Adam, thanks for joining us here. Have we been giving a 15-1 Chiefs team the respect that you would figure a 15-1 team deserves at this point in the season?
Yeah, it's hard for me as a guy who's seen every snap of every game, to appreciate how they've gotten to 15-1. I mean, there have been so many weird things and so many plays at the end of games where they had to do everything absolutely right, and they did to get to 15-1. But here they are, and I think you have to take them seriously at this point. Their offense looks like it's starting to come around a little bit. Patrick Mahomes had his second most passing yards of the season, and is pretty encouraged by what is going on out there. Yeah, and they're going to get the first round bye, so that's like winning a wild card round playoff game, and all their playoff games will be at Arrowhead. So AFC playoffs games come through Kansas City, which has been a tough place for teams to play. So it's all sort of setting up for them here. It's just going to be a crazy playoffs again. And but yeah, that's a good question. Are people sort of sleeping on the two-time defending champs who are 15-1? That's any other time you'd say that's crazy talk, but maybe that's what's going on a little bit here.